just saw something on my other mother device here on, and it was something very interesting about economics. And I went out today, and I went to the northwest side of town, and I went to go film some video. And so in the video, I was basically seeing that how different people from different ethnic backgrounds, how the way they were able to pull their money together and build up a business. And what I've come across is it was very, very amazing. And this is what to go into the on my page. I'm unable to get it on this device right here, but on my page I have I made 3 short videos, not very long, and it has a East Indian group, a Hispanic group, and a couple other groups of people that what the African American community can learn from, as far as putting your resources together and how the way they work among each other. And it was really, I went to one part of a town, and this one area I filmed was some Hispanic people. I believe they were Mexicans. They had a furniture store, they had a grocery store, and inside, because I've been in there before, they have a little eatery. Then when you go on to the other side of the same plaza, they have an even have an ice cream, a real nice, beautiful layout of an ice cream store, and it's like a lot of ice cream popsicles and things like that. And then when I was up north, this is in Columbus, Ohio, I went to the East Indian community. The East Indian community have a similar thing set up. They have a couple restaurants. They have a restaurant and a store inside, so you can purchase things and you get things from their native country. And they have a couple of restaurants that surrounded in the plaza. They was able to get their business in this particular plaza. And a lot of the people, like on this Hispanic side and on this East Indian side, they were able to sustain and support the community. Thirdly, I went up to, was off of Morris Road, and there's a Somalian community with a Sudanese community in East Africa, a lot of East Africans and people who are up on your. I mean, it's other groups. It's not just people in the Muslim faith, but there's other African group people who probably some Christians going into. But they have a whole on Morris Road. They have about 5, 6. They have some restaurants. They have a grocery store. They have for their people. They have like a call center. They have all these different businesses, and they have a mall right across the way from the immigrant community, the African immigrant community. They go from one end of Morris to the other end of Morris. Then there's a few. You have people that work on cars as mechanics. You have some people who are other different African nations. They have the truck drivers, they're mechanics, they're taxi drivers, they work restaurant jobs, and they got outlet stores. They got different items for like the women to wear, the men to wear their traditional religious garb and things like that. Then you have another community of people. They're called the Burmese and Nepal, from Nepal. You go down in this community, and they have a grocery store for the people from Nepal. a lot of the people from Nepal work in a lot of stores. I've seen them in Walmart, different stores, but they have their own. One couple of them have their own businesses too along the same stretch of road. They have a restaurant, and then next to the area, if they ever run out of supplies, they have a major chain that they can probably go and get some items there, and if they can't get the items from back in their native country. This is in Columbus, Ohio, and so I was watching something with Dr. Claude Anderson, and he was talking about powernomics in the black, and he was just trying to, this is what black people need to do in the community. So I went out and made a series of videos that, and if you come to my web, if you're on my page on YouTube, you will see it. You'll be able to see it, and it's under James Thomas. That's my web page. It's a small writing and printing, and I'm about to upload some videos to show the demographic. If you're African American, man or woman, pay attention in the video, and I will encourage you. If you watch his videos with Dr. Boyce Watkins, Professor Boyce Watkins, they are making an excellent point, because a lot of people they hear what this man is saying, but they don't see what does he talk about when the different immigrants group, mixed in with the other group, have in common when it comes to building up their societies. And in Ohio, and particularly in Columbus, around the Columbus area, they particularly do that. The black community need to, and it's something not to be hating on, or jealous, or being hating on, but to really learn that what these folks have in common, the groups that I put on, that I mentioned about, is that they work in a unit. They have a structure that they do, and they come back and they have their own language, they have their own culture, and they stick to themselves. Now other people they have right now and then will come in and patronize the business. I went today, and the guy made me went to the Hispanic business, the Mexican ice cream shop. He made me a good chocolate shake, and so it is something to learn about. And I'm just amazed how it was really nicely set up. I mean, in the restaurants and things like that. And so when I heard on YouTube Dr. Claude Anderson was telling this is what African Americans need to do as far as build up your wealth. And so when I went to those places, this is particularly to you, if you're African American man or woman, get behind some entrepreneurs, and you need to support each other. If you can break down the barriers of you ain't from this side of the block, I ain't from this side of the block, and just expand your mind, expand your block. And this is what African Americans should do in order to have their own capital and making capital in this country. If you have a barber shop put together with a mechanic shop, with and if you can get someone to buy a plaza or some land, and then you have a black barber shop, you have a black vegetarian shop, and then you can put it next to a beauty supply store or something like that. If you could line it up, that will generate income. When it generates income in there, you're able to hire young people, and you hire pretty much your own people if you want to. But because that's what these other groups of people do. Some of your Middle Eastern people, they have discount stores here. They have convenience stores, and they control discount stores, like something like your thrift store. They have it's like a thrift store here, and they hire nothing but Middle Eastern people that is pretty much Middle Eastern, and everybody, I don't know what part of the Middle East that they're from, but they have their own, people. So this is, if you in your city or town where you live at, get behind. This is what you can do, because, and again, if you want to have some wealth in your community and generate wealth in your community in order to have a political voice in the community, Dr. Claude Anderson is right. Because once they see you get together like all these other communities, people would take, and you pull your resources together. And when you pull your resources together and hire, young men and young women to manage to run the business, and we can try to learn to be. Some of us know how to do this. I mean, some in the black community, you smart. Some of you got the business smart, and so you know what I'm talking about. But the other black people out there, they need to really step up and support and understand how business work. And it can't be a charity. Wait till the brother and sister get their business off the ground before they're able to be more charitable to one another. And you have to learn from one another and focus on it. And why I mention all these groups, because they look out for one another. I seen it firsthand, and I sit back and I watched how they operate in the business, and it's something that's really unique, And the problem with us is we can put down whatever envious and jealousy and focus on the vision. We wouldn't have the high unemployment rate among other nations, nationalities of people. You would be. I mean, and if we can encourage, now you're gonna have some people that's kind of lazy, or some, but this is the point. Don't let that discourage you from hiring the next black person, because the next black person may not be lazy. And so that's another thing. That's another myth we got to get to have. And then, as far as business etiquette, we have to treat each other with respect. This is how things go, and this is how the way other communities people operate. And you need to get behind your visionaries, your young people, your entrepreneurs. And the big thing, that the problem with, there are African American businesses here, but they spread all over the city. And there's like maybe 1 or 2 or 3 restaurants, but no one hardly knows it, unless someone get out there and advertise, or basically have someone stand on the corner and advertise their business, so other African Americans, just say here in Columbus, can go and spend their money and spend that dollar to that business, so that business can get up and running. And this is just in Columbus, but there's other cities like Columbus, Ohio. I mean, you can. When I'm basically laying the blueprint out, and it's not that you want to patronize those other people's businesses. That's fine, that's on you. But this is not to hate them or beat up them or anything not like that, or just be prejudiced or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. Basically, in America, everything is the capital dollar. Everybody is competing. And what Dr. Claude Anderson said, it's about a race. And right now, the other countries, they able to
and those of you that have the skills, of entrepreneurship, use it in the right way instead of using it in the wrong way. It's, some people have a natural skill, and they don't have to go out there and try to make that fast money. If you know what I'm talking about, you can use it other way to make an honest living, and have someone to help you do your tax books and do it right. You can just be just as about successful as a person is in marketing, making $100,000 a month or something like that. But you got to do it the right way. But if you do it the fast and gain way, if you're a young man or young woman, it's not going to pan out. It's not going to pan out if you try to person that's trying to hustle somebody. You're trying to hustle. I mean, as far in a way, it's probably trying to run game and stuff like that, because that can come back and backfire on you. But if you do it the right, if you hustle the right way, the right way, in a professional way, in a legal way, you can do it, man. You can do it. I put, no matter what all these other nationalities or people, and even some on their own might say that they don't have a chance. They don't have the education. They don't have a wherewithal. Inner city that there is some gifted young black men and young black women, and boys and girls, from boys to girls to teenagers. They just need to be encouraged. If someone has the natural talent, and if someone can mentor them to be business, and there's a few out there that do, but there's a community that people that know, your own culture, that people know their own culture. You know what your people need. You know that there's a product that they need. And you see what I'm saying? Hope my camera froze up, but I'm gonna keep on talking. But this is a solution. You can do this thing. Basically, and encourage the young people to. I hope this video come out right. To be entrepreneurs in the inner city and where you at. You can have your own store. You can run your own restaurant, just like these other groups of people do. You can have your own mechanic shops. You can have your own. You can have a restaurant, mechanic shops, not just that, but you get barber shops. Which, most of us, majority, that's in the hood. Professional mechanics. Some, fix things, trade, support your black people. I'm telling you, some of you can support people who, and I've seen this also. They like the Hispanic. I've seen this in Hispanic business. I've seen a whole bunch of business cards that were helping out other Hispanic business people, like realtors and different individuals, handyman services and things like that. I'm addressing this to you because you can make money and you can flourish as a community. And then when you take the advice, when you be professional, when you deal with business with your own people, you can just do business and treat each other, and we can learn. And some of us do it, but some more of us need it. The reason why some of us don't do it because a lack of professionalism and things like that among each other. And sometimes some of us get discouraged, and we go to these other nations of people for their business, for their services. That's why I'm encouraging you. That's why I'm encouraging you to do this. So, oh boy. So what I'm saying is, let's record. Let's keep it recording. What I'm saying is that if it's working out,
you can work in your community, because some of these people are surrounding your community. I guess I'm having problems with this. Trying to get out of it. Okay, had to. Okay, yeah. Had to. My page kind of switched off, but just yeah, man. Just learn. We can learn to respect one another, be professional to one another. Because African Americans, whether you're male or female, you all that you got. In like any other community, people, everybody is got to fend for their own right now. That's the fact. Everybody is trying to survive. And Dr. Claude Anderson is right in so many ways. And I know you want to blend in and bend in with everybody else, but really, most communities take care of themselves. And even when you go into, towards the city, you have your LGBT community people, which is majority of them are white. They have their own neighborhoods. Like, for example, in Columbus, they have different sections around the town. They have Italian village. They have houses over there by Ohio State University and things like that. German village and all these different villages and you see the LGBT community with the individuals with their flags. And so, and hey, and they have businesses in downtown. A lot of the LGBTQ communities have businesses just like everybody else, and they support one another. That's the community, the LGBT community, support one another, and most of them, 9 chances out of 10, they're 90% of them are white. Now there are black gay members, people who are transgender and things like that, but who controls majority of the business, like here, is if you look at the property, is what majority of the white LGBT community. So they make political headwaves. They move in an arena, and they got property and land. Some are professionals, some of them are business owners, some have got businesses along bars and restaurants and things like that along the street. And even as a section, they're able to pull together. African Americans need to do the same thing. Only, Black Lives Matter is the only nonprofit that is pretty much like an LGBTQ transgender, can start about 2 women who are in the LGBTQ community, and that's one out of many. But and I know that there is, but with the LGBT community, they blend in with the white LGBT community people, and it kind of simmer things down, and that's when it all comes together. And then they do take the head of the whatever demonstrations and movements that it is. And right now, and they're the ones that's trying to say, well, let's come together and lead the try to, let's say, go against Trump or something like this, or try to get anybody to agree with our agenda. Then we're going to try to, for that reason, and they have to back up from mysterious sources. But I say this as a black, straight man, straight women, in the community, get with other ones and support your brothers, sisters across town. This is what the black community, this is the solution. Y'all got to put that east side, north side, west side, south side stuff down, because these people are coming in and setting up business around you. You have to stop being so divided. Stop being so envious. Patronize another brother and sister business across town. And so maybe they can put a business, and you patronize that business, then they able to put
So you can employ somebody over there, so you will have them run out of work over there, and maybe give some young person an opportunity, that don't have a job or something like that, for your, young black teenagers, young men and young women, to encourage them entrepreneurship. And then they have to work hard and give them a good work ethics. And if some would understand, if you teach more of that, then that will get them motivated to do that. I'm saying, because the other communities of people around you, like here in Columbus, Ohio, that's what they do. That's what the young people are doing. They see that's what their parents are doing. They see that what their relatives are doing, their neighbors are doing, who speak their language and things like that. That's what they're doing. So one day they educate them and they're able to send their kids, after they graduate from high school, off to college. Mom and dad working hard, at the restaurant, at the store, at the businesses, at one of the hotels. Because with the East Indians, not only that they have the stores, but they run hotels, franchise hotels. And I know some of you know this, but they, as a collectively, do things as a community. They get something like a Subway franchise. Some Pakistanis and Indians do this, and that's why you see this. They march in that market, so they're able to get. That's why they're able to get out there in those communities out there like that. And really, when they get their business, they're gonna employ their own. And sometimes mostly white people. Most people gonna be white who they gonna hire. I'm just giving you the realistic approach. Black people, you are in this really by yourself, and the only one ain't no one's really gonna help you unless you collectively come as a people, find a way and pray to God that you can put whatever it is that call you divisive and stop, and we can learn to stop killing one another and trying to duke and out game one another. And do something to protect them. We can come together. You can be a powerful force and support your brother and sister from a thousand times. And if you have a business, I'm telling you, there are other black entrepreneurs that will support you outside your area. If you got a website, or get a website and get a black entrepreneur to design you a website so you can get some black dollars from other cities and other states, and pulling that money. I mean, you may not can afford a brick and mortar right away, but maybe you have to start with the website. Whatever your business could be. I see a lot of people doing that. Once different story, having stories online, T-shirt online, but there is some black people in the community is creative. Don't let them tell you that you're stupid, you're dumb, and you're not creative. They don't, because this is the year that that these nations don't understand who we really are. Some of them have ate out off the fat calf for too long, and that's why around you in those areas, that in your inner city, support somebody. If there's a black-owned gas station, grocery store. If there's just one, come across town if you do it, man. Go a little extra mile, because that extra dollar means a lot. Because the black businesses are struggling, and especially with this pandemic right now. And I'm addressing this to the African American community, because your first fire, last hire. And then politically they water your costs down. You'd come a sacrifice, of death when it comes to the government putting their foot on your neck, and the whole world sees you going to death, but everything goes back to you. Then another community of people come along and kind of use you as the buffer, so they can further their cause. And
this is what was happening right now. I made a video. Reparation would be the correct thing to bring up the American black men and black women's wealth for their children. This would be the thing. And those who have and give and let the ones, and don't be a player hating on somebody if they try to give you a proper instruction on how to deal with and listen to the people who are able to give you advice on business, property, real estate, and things like that. Go online. There's a lot of people online that and educate yourself on the government, and if they do give you reparations or any type of thing like that, put it for something that, and that's another thing that we can't live by today, because put it so that to put that money up for tomorrow, so you would have money for lying down, and you can put that money towards a business or something like that. I know we can do it, because I'm seeing other groups of people who can do it, and support your youth, support your young people, and there's entrepreneurs in your community. Support black business, support the entrepreneurs, support the dreamers, however young their age is. Get behind them and support them, patronize them. Even they, start. It's cute to see when they start selling water, because they know entrepreneurship, and they encourage that, because that's what these other people do with their kids. So I just wanted to make a video, but I'm going to be again on my video on YouTube, and I'm going to show you what Dr. Claude Anderson was talking about. And you see Dr. Boyce Walker. So if you ever go to their page, this is what I'm about to show you, what the reality in 2020, what they're talking about when it comes to immigrants, and have a business and have a structure and everything. And this is not a video to demean, but to educate on how to work as a community and gain capital and float that dollar, like many people have been saying among yourself, not trying to spend it out there. And that's why it can happen, because once you take that dollar, it can circulate. It won't go as fast as circulation out to other people. But this is what I encourage you to do. It is listen to them, for people like that, Dr. Boyce Walker, Claude Anderson, many other black entrepreneurs or financial people that are out there. Don't look at them like old town lame and square dudes. We as a people, we have different avenues. We have different sectors of society. Because even though you have one thing in common with everybody, no matter what your education is, no matter what your economic status is, your level of intelligence is, one thing about it, as long as you have the other, you will win. And people don't treat. And just because you can be living in a city, and you might think that the black person in the suburb might not have to go through things, but they have to go through things, because you see, there's a whole different level of racism that they have to go through. And even they with the college degrees, and even with if they get a business, they go to a whole different level. So they go to a whole different level, because people see that some African Americans not as smart, and so stigma remains not just with one nation. Some nations think like this. Other nations think like this. Some people in the nations think like this. So we constantly prove ourselves. So we ain't no choice but to treat ourselves right. economically. And so that's what I would encourage you to do. But I would encourage you to in advertise, man. Some of you know how to design hip hop clothing, religious clothing. Support. Because I'm going, I just say it, but I'm going to start doing it myself. Because when I spend with the dollar on the people that go, there's someone able to rise in that community. If there was a black-owned ice cream shop, I would have went them. To be honest with you, if it's in town, but it's so hard to find a business because they don't advertise in the city. And so, you want to do it, but sometimes, like, I had to go out one time I had made a couple videos on the page, and I didn't know it was a black man that he's no longer there at that business, but he was making shoes. He was repairing dress shoes. I didn't even know that. And here in Columbus, Ohio, they had another black man, well, he's still in business. He's on Main Street. He owns like a clothing and shoe shop. And how I didn't know he could, because I went to him first and said he repair shoes, and he pretty much, now I'm kind of high-end style. But there's a brother I know around the corner can repair your shoes. And I mean, it's some nice shoes, dress shoes and things like that. But nice, nice shirts and things like that you go out on the town with. But and it's in the community, man. It's in, there's a couple of vegan African American vegan shops that I don't know if they're online, but they're here in Columbus, Ohio. And there's other businesses I've seen, but the thing about it is other black people probably throughout the city and in Ohio don't even know. So that's why it's important that if there was some kind of newspaper or if a black person can come back with a magazine and just do one of all the business and stuff like that and advertise, then you can generate that money back into that community. So that business owner, whether he has two or three barber shops and a mechanic shop or something like that, or some other stuff going on, he can expand his business if he's got a mind of a businessman or a businesswoman. For the women that got you don't, especially black women, can have and support the black women that have their own beauty shops, because only black hair and nails and beauty, and hopefully you can find one that can do your nails, that they have the right chemicals to define your nails. This is what it need to be done throughout every city in America. African American can deal with each other as far as business, and then you get your distribution. Then someone has to control the distribution of where to send the stuff at. You got the distribution, and you make the clientele among each other, just like, and that's what all these other nations of people do. That's what the people at the Hispanic grocery store, the Mexican restaurants do. They have Mexican restaurants. That's what they do. And so this is, if anything, take note from this video. Learn something from this. This is not about hating one another, or despising one another. This is something that all these other nations, if you ever get a chance to go in their business, watch them, and you will see what I'm talking about. Watch how they wait. If you got to sit down and interact in their business and eat some food, you don't have to make it obvious. Just sit back and notice. Any group of people, even if you're in their little convenience store, watch how the way they interact with each other. Watch how the way they do business among each other. And instead of that, we can learn something from them, and how sometimes they're able to keep the money going. That's how these, or comrades from another city, another state,
Majority, the immigrant group people who have businesses, they hire other immigrants, white or immigrant. We're not most of the time. Most of us not in the picture. That's who they hire.
And it could be various reasons. I mean, some young people don't like to work. That's what I heard. Some young people like to come on time. That's what I heard. But this, and we hope that, and we know there's some young people that do want to work. But there's some people that do have, young people do believe in entrepreneur and work and things like that. But they don't know that because they have a bad experience with somebody who maybe they hired but didn't want to work. They want to work. They'll come in late or something like that. And then they stigmatize everybody. And then sometimes it could be like a language barrier. It could be a cultural barrier, a language barrier. That's why black people, that's why I'm telling you this. You know, you get a furniture store or something going on. Get behind your men and women that know the craft, a craft that can produce something, that can produce an idea, that can produce and bring jobs in your city. You can eliminate that. And if anything, I learned if we can put down the division between the Africans and the Black Americans, if somehow some of them can put down, if they can just unite, because on certain products, as far as import export, that would be a right thing to do too. Because you all have the same, skin texture, medication, personal things for your hair, your nails, and your skin. And you have the same skin and same nails. If African Americans and Africans, can come together and bridge that gap here, and with respect to one another here, just as well as over there. In Africa, you'll be a big united force. And you will see that as a whole, that you're coming together as a community, and other nations learn how to respect that. And they change their whole opinion about you're lazy, or some people come across they're not as educated like we are, or whatever it could be. But this is the solution. This is the solution. And I hope that there's some Black Americans, some African Americans can listen to this video, and we can learn from one another, and we can and someone can put down the barriers, because that some of these nations controlling the resources around the neighborhood, and they're not employing you, particularly in the African American community. You have a high unemployment rate, and so that's what encouraging young boys and girls entrepreneurship. Hopefully somebody will come along and mentor them in business. This will solve the problem. And I hope, and we're not going to get everybody, but maybe if someone starts something, then everybody will understand hard work means entrepreneurship. And you could just amount as much in anything. So my name is James, and I know I've been around for a long time, but I just want to make this video. And if you come to my YouTube webpage, James Thomas, I'm going to show you some videos, and it's going to be it's not very long, it's very short videos, and I'm going to show you the businesses that are and learn and explain to you which ethnic group and how they operate their business, and it's educational purposes. So to give you an idea, this is what you can get some entrepreneurship. Pull your money together. Someone out of the group of people can work on something. Go down to your local city and county and get some land and look for commercial property and get you a plaza and put your barbershop, a restaurant, or something like that, just like the way they do, so your people can come have some place to congregate and be on the business side. If you can do that, in any of your cities, because currently there are some black entrepreneurs, but they in the major cities like Chicago, from I see New York, and some places like that. But those of you, and you need to look online and go on YouTube and Facebook. A lot of them on Facebook that they have. That's how I found out about WeBuyBlack.com and things like that, and they all the real estate, all the people who's in all different aspects, they all their businesses, they go and have a website, and that's why I say websites is important. And then you have some young black women that teach on how to get in real estate. So
Oh, 1 second. I'm making my
I just want to encourage you to next time you guys take care.